Okay, first of all, this is what I found. Not good. That's got quite a bit of wobble. That's what was making all the noise while it was idling. That's the water pump. So to get to this point, really simple. Your air scoop intake. It's only 4 little bolts. 2 up at the top, 2 more over here on the side. And then you take your snorkel off. 2 hose clamps, no big deal. Then you work this piece off, which hides your air cleaner. Not bad for 60,000 miles. This little guy, it's your cold air intake. This one's a little bit tricky to get off. This guy right here, this little rubber doohickey, there's only 1 bolt here and 1 bolt over here on this side, and it comes off, and that rubber doohickey fits over this guy. So you gotta pull that out, work it around. See, I disconnected this is the overflow for the radiator. This line goes from the water tank up to the radiator. So you just disconnect that, move it out of the way, pop that rubber thingy off of here, work it in and out, finally get it out, and that opens the thing up. I think that's all I'm going to have to undo. And then in order to get the water pump off, you just reach inside these little holes here and get on top of a 10mm bolt and undo them. There's, I think, about 6 or so all the way around, and this guy comes right out. Piece of cake. In the meantime, before I do that, what's happening right now is down here, I don't know if you can see it, way down here in the bottom is the petcock to release your radiator fluid. So I got a bucket underneath there. Looks like it's got about 2 gallons in. And that's all there is to it to get to the water pump. Piece of cake. So there's the culprit. This is all there is to the water pump cartridge. I don't know if kind of hard to do this one-handed, but you can see it's pretty shot. I am amazed this rascal wasn't leaking. But 6 bolts comes out of that hole right here. Got a timing pin at the top and a gasket, which will come with the new water pump. And one other thing I didn't mention, I'll find my 15mm socket here. In order to get your dry belt off, this is your hydraulic tensioner right here. So clockwise, like this, I'll just push down on it and it will put some pressure on it, and then it will collapse, and then you can get your dry belts off. New water pump arrived a day early. Original OEM stuff. This is the new one. Nice and solid. Love it. When I took the bolts out, they had a little bit of blue, looked like silicones, what I thought at first, thinking water pump, keep the water from walking out the threads, but it's actually some Loctite of some kind. I'm sure it's blue in color, so it's a anti-vibration and not the red where you want to seal it up permanently. So anyway, cleaned them off somewhat, and I'm putting a little bit of blue Loctite on. Okay, I got all 6 back in. These are just small bolts there, so if you're an old fart like me and kind of remember how to tighten carburetors down, that's all the torque I'm using, is like if it's a carburetor. So now we put the belt back on, connect some hoses, and it's ready to fire up. Checking out my belt. Not bad shape, but there's 1 or 2 slits or cracks like this around the belt. Not a lot. I went down to the parts place. They don't even have a part number for this. So these things you got to get from either the local dealer or Parts Direct. So I went ahead and ordered one from Parts Direct. There's another one right there. It's broke. This belt would probably last another 60,000 miles, but since I'm in the neighborhood, I think I'm going to just go ahead and replace it. Okay, cold air box. 2 screws. One here and one over here. 10mm extension. No big deal. There's just enough room. Once you get it out, take the screws out. You get in between this guy and the pulley. It will come out. Okay, air cleaner. It's out here. Slips right in, it's right out. This goes on. And then our intake box. Little tabs slip in the bottom. Like so. And just like that. 2 screws. And then this comes back, connects it here. And then all this slips right down into the slots. Fits in place there. Now we put the snorkel on. Move this. Drop our snorkel in. Almost done. Okay, snorkel's back on. If you have a little issue getting this thing to fit back on, little WD-40 around the lip works wonders. Slip and slide them. Go right on. So, nut driver, tighten up the 2 hose clamps. Good there. Okay. These little guys here are smog. Okay, these are quick connects. You notice this side's a little smaller than this side. If you push in here, they will disconnect. Push in hard. Of course, I'm doing it from the wrong side. Same way here. Just snap it on. Get them off. Say just push on the far side and they'll pop off. I think we're ready to put antifreeze in. Hose connected. A little clippy. Okay, I let it run. We're up to temp. Water level's good in the reservoir tank. We're done with this. One last thing. Put this guy on. It's just like that. 4 of these guys, the nut driver, and it's Miller time. Okay, one last look. Everything's buttoned back up, hooked up. Water's good. No leaks, which is always a positive thing after you mess with the water pump. Everything sounds good. I think we're done.